Hi everyone, welcome back to my podcast. This is episode 15 and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about knitting and a little bit about sewing and do I have any knit design? I don't really have too much design stuff, but you know me, I always sprinkle a few things in there. So, if you're following along, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're a new viewer, welcome to the podcast. I'm coming to you, my name is Shannon Bellum. I'm coming to you from northern New Jersey in the United States. And you can find me as Bellummake on Ravelry and on Instagram. I'm most active on Instagram. I keep all my knitting projects, including the one that I'm wearing, which I'm not going to talk too much about. I'm wearing the Stanham cardigan by Katie Green of the Blacker Yarns design team. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I'll put a picture in of my entire finished object here so you can see the whole thing. It's a really cool mix and match mix and match sweater that you can, do whatever. I did not use Blacker Yarns. I did the test knit for new viewers. Returning viewers will know about this sweater. I've already talked about it several times, but you can find more information on my project page, and all that information will be linked down there in the description box, where you can find my show notes. My show notes are on Ravelry. I keep my show notes on Ravelry because all the Ravelry links to all these other information pages. So if you're interested in a yarn that I have or I've used, and you also want to use it, you can easily find it in your area by using Ravelry. So that's why I do that. And I'm going to keep doing that for now. I do have a web domain that I haven't opened. I had it active when I had a little jewelry business, and I closed it because I was reassessing what I wanted to do. So I may reopen that. I'm trying to decide. I don't know. I don't need another thing to maintain right now. That's kind of where I'm at. May is always super busy. I'm a university professor, and May is like a maddening month. I just want everyone to go away so I can do my own thing. But it's like ceremony and presentations and and all this end of the year stuff. That's really not fun. I don't enjoy it. Happy days are ahead. This is like not knitting or sewing, but just as a digression, or a sidetrack, I get Fridays off all summer, June, July, and August, and it's really nice. And I'm really looking forward to that, to just having more time to pursue creative pursuits and not just be grading papers and dealing with student issues and stuff like that. So, I mean, I love the students. I really do. That's why I'm there. Okay. Returning viewers, you will know that last week I talked about going to Mood Fabrics last Saturday afternoon and purchasing some silk so that I could make a dress to wear to my son's wedding. My son is getting married June 9th, my oldest son, he's 26. And the wedding's in Mexico. It's a destination wedding, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have been very challenged in finding a dress, so I decided that I would make a dress. Now, I haven't sewn in 15 years. This is for new viewers. I got a sewing machine. I had a sewing machine. It broke down in one of the moves from multiple apartments. I put that sewing machine on the curb, and somebody scooped it up. And then I inherited a sewing machine, an Elna 62C, from my stepmother who passed away 8 years ago. And then it sat in my garage for 8 years. And last fall, in October, I decided to get it repaired and tuned up. I took it out, tried it. It seemed a little glitchy to me. I took it to a tune-up. I found a sewing machine dealer near me, or a machine shop near me, and they repaired it. And yeah, then it sat for another few months. And about 3 weeks ago, I think it was 3 weeks ago, I was inspired to try to make a cotton day dress, and I did. It went well. All my old skills came back to me, all of these memories of flooding back of what to do and how to sew and how to handle fabric. And the other thing that you don't know about me, perhaps if you're a new viewer, is that I'm a former fashion designer. So I spent my first career was in the fashion industry. I spent a decade in that industry, working for a variety of houses, fashion houses on 7th Avenue, and I worked my way up to being the head knitwear designer of a large private label company. And I would often see my sweaters walking around on the street. It was really cool. It was interesting. I did cut and sew, and I also did machine knit. We didn't do any hand knits. That was too high a price point for the house I was working for. But I was always a hand knitter. I started hand knitting in college, right before freshman year of college. I started to hand knit, and I really never stopped. I never stopped hand knitting. Just kind of dabbled in it. I often used my hand knit skills to work out swatches that I would then use to direct factories in terms of making my knitwear designs for the company that I worked for. And then I really wanted I had little kids, I had toddlers, and I really wanted kind of an easier lifestyle. The fashion industry really has a way of like sucking the blood and life right out of you. So I quit and became an academic. I went back to grad school to get advanced degrees so that I could teach and work on a college campus, and I love it. I haven't looked back. But I also, in the course of I went to undergrad for fashion studies, and I got a lot of techniques and mad skills, and I learned a lot in working in the industry. My formative time in the industry was working for a top high-end knitwear designer and wovenwear designer, and I learned a lot from her. I made pants for like this huge Broadway producer. I can't remember his name. It starts with, I think it's in Martin. I think his name is Martin something. I don't remember, but he's the producer of of a chorus line. I made pants for him, and I met many Joel Grey and Jennifer Grey and like many celebrities over my time in New York City and working in the garment industry. And I'm one of those people who's just like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. I don't usually get to starstruck. The only person who starstruck me was Eartha Kitt. And wow, I'm really off on a tangent now. Okay, back to my work in progress. So Martha, crap, you really can't see her too well. Martha is wearing, I'm going to just move the camera over so you can see. Martha is wearing what is the beginning of the dress that I am going to be wearing to my son's wedding. I went into Mood Fabric. So if you're a Project Runway person, I went to Mood to buy the fabric, because Mood in New York City, when you're shopping for fabric, there's no Michaels and no Joann's. Like there's nothing like that. You go into a shop and there are rolls, big huge rolls of fabric, and they're stacked on top of each other. You're only like seeing a tiny piece of it. You're not really, it's a very different experience than a Joann's or Michael's. Mood, however, does a really good job of having a wide assortment. So often like you'll walk into one shop and their specialization will be wool. And then you walk into another shop and their specialization is cotton or polyester. Often it's polyester. They're almost all polyester. But I really wanted to make a silk dress. My son had given me some really strict criteria. I'm not allowed to wear white for the obvious reasons. I'm not allowed to wear black. I'm mother of the groom. Black sends the wrong message, so I'm not wearing black. And her colors, my lovely, beautiful daughter-in-law to be picked pink and blue as her wedding colors, which is fine. So I need to steer clear of those colors too. And if you've shopped for, and then I was told the dress must be long and it must be solid. So that's really limiting. Okay, it's in a hot place. I don't really want to wear a dark color. I wanted to wear a bright poppy color. And I really had a hard time like finding something that fit all that criteria, and it's flattering on my body. So, just my long-winded way of saying, so about 3 weeks ago, I tried this dress right here. It's called the washi dress. I made this pattern. I didn't do the cutout on the cotton dress that I made. I just wanted to get my feet wet again, and try sewing again. I hadn't sewn in such a long time. And I wanted to make sure that it was flattering. So I decided I liked it. I decided it was an easy sew, and I decided it was what I wanted to do. So what you are seeing here is a slightly modified version of the washi dress. This is a floor-length gown, so I took the pattern and I lengthened it. I added some fullness into the bottom. I took the pattern and split it the way that if you've ever done any of this, any modifications or pattern making before, you'll understand like what I did. I don't have the what I did. So this is the top. I actually modified the bodice as well. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. I have a much larger bust, like top, like not my rib cage, but my bust line is much bigger. What do they call? Small back, big rack. That's me. That's me. So to accommodate that, I enlarged the bust line dart, and I also dropped it a bit so that it would line up with the apex of my bust line. But in order to make the dress longer and fuller, I split the back all the way up to the shoulder, and right here, and then I split it a second time right here into the arm's eye, and then you spread. So you basically split and spread. So I split and spread as wide as I could make it to fit the bottom of the dress, get the full width in the front and the full width in the back of the dress. And if you didn't follow that completely, feel free to ask me questions. I'm happy to explain more. Remember, I'm a teacher, so I have mad skills, mad teaching skills that I can talk you through exactly what I did. Or if I need to, I'll make a little video about it, and I'll show you. I can show you the pattern pieces and what I did, how I got there. So yeah, this is my dress so far. I have it is fully lined. That's another change that I made. Let me see if yeah, this is the right side to pull up. So you can see the full lining underneath. I lined it with silk. That's the best thing to do when you're working with silk. You get like equal weight. You don't want to take a silk dress that you're going to wear in a hot climate and line it with polyester, because polyester just sticks to you when you get hot and sweaty, where silk breathes. So silk is a protein fiber like wool. And it breathes, and it's probably between protein fibers are my favorite. I love wool. I love silk. I like cotton too for certain things, but not for everything. What else can I tell you about it? You see the little stitching around here? That's just some basting that I put in. I'm going to be embroidering the neck in sort of an asymmetrical random way. One of my advanced degrees is an MFA, so I have an art degree, advanced art degree. So I feel really comfortable freestyling some embroidery here. I'm probably going to do like daisy stitch flowers in bright colors. Wait, let me show you the bright colors that I'm thinking about. So I have this really gorgeous coral that I want to use, but look at that. So it's Mexico, right? So I want to be like bright and colorful and pretty, and this is a hot pink. I also picked up an orange and a red and a purple. So it's like I want to do like a real mishmash of bright colors. So I'm going to embroider around the neckline down here. I'm going to put their initials on it too. I'm going to put J+P somewhere in here, and then I'm also going to put the wedding date somewhere in here too. Like I'm hoping I can kind of like disguise it in or something along those lines. What else can I tell you? Sorry, my phone is ringing. It's a ring that I have for unknown callers, so I don't really feel compelled to go get it. But it's an annoying ring in the background. Hang on. I had greens too. I'm going to be putting green leaves. Oh, here they are. I found them. So I'll show you my entire palette of embroidery. There we go. So that should be pretty, right? I think I have a swatch too, so I can show you up close. All right. So that's the next thing for me to do with the with this dress. So I am going to be opening up the lining, like basically pulling apart stretching it up so that I can get an embroidery hoop on here. But I could have done this two different ways. I could have embroidered the front and then cut it, or I could have, and then I would be able to use the embroidery hoop, or this way. And I decided to do it this way because I didn't want to, because I was lining it, I didn't want to be worried about where to sew. And this way I could be I could sew it first, and then the placement of the embroidery will be pretty perfect. So I'm not going to do anything complex other than the initialing that I'm planning to do and the date, their wedding date. And then my plan, I'm almost like 110% sure they're not watching this, because this is mom's weird weird hobby that they're like, okay, yeah, she's got that thing going on. They like hearing about it. But and my future daughter-in-law is studying. She's finishing up her master's right now in public health, so she's really busy, and so I know she's not watching this. But my plan is to actually, after the wedding, is to cut the dress into a short dress, like a normal size length dress, and gift it to her, because we're of similar build, and I think this design is also very flattering and forgiving for a multitude of figures. So I think it'll look really nice on her, and she can wear it for her first anniversary or whatever, her 10th or her 20th. I think she'll like it. So yeah, that's my plan. So embroider it, and then when I'm done embroidering it, I will be doing the shearing across the back, which I don't have a picture of. There's elastic shearing that goes across the back that makes it like a nice, cool pull-on style, easy to wear. And then I'll be stitching the side seams and hemming, and then it'll be done. It's pretty close to being done, and I really don't expect the embroidery to take me very long. I've embroidered a lot in the past, so I think I'll be okay. I think it'll look fine. And you know what? Embroidery is much easier to rip out than knitting, so I think I'll be fine. Yeah, so that's my plan. That is my sewing for this week. So this it didn't occupy a lot of time for me, but it did take some time. And I realized, like, one of the things that I do remember about sewing is that it's not something that you should do when you're tired. So I really try to pick and choose when to do the sewing. All right. Yeah, so that's my sewing. I haven't done anything else. I haven't made any other progress on any other sewing projects. And really, until this dress is done, I won't. The wedding is in June, so I have a little ways to go. I have plenty of time. I'm not under pressure at all to get this done or to rush through it, which is also a really good thing when you're doing a sewing project. Yeah. Wow, that was 20 minutes of sewing and weird sidelines. Sorry about that. Okay. Let me tell you about the knitting I've been doing this week. All right. I am almost done. I'm working on the Jerami sweater by Isabel Kramer. It was on the cover of Pom Pom Quarterly. And I am well underway with the second sleeve. And I've just been stitching away on it. Really motivated to get it done. I was hoping to get it done tonight. I was actually hoping to get it done before I saw you guys this weekend, but that didn't happen. I went to the hair salon today, and yeah, how do you like my new hair? My hair has got a natural wave, and I'm usually really lazy about blowing it out, but my hairstylist likes to blow my hair out, so we have this sleek look. And I asked him to give me some products that I can wear it straight now and then, because it's nice. It's nice to wear straight. I do love the convenience of it being curly, though. I can just like scrunch it up and go without really worrying about it. And if it rains, who cares? Whereas if my hair is straight, if I've blown it straight and it rains, wow, what a mess. So anyway, almost done with this sucker. And then I have about 4 inches left to knit on the bottom. I put the bottom on some waste yarn to give me some time to knit the sleeves. And just to give you a recap of the yarn, I am using Stitch Together Studio yarn called In the Buff, and it's like a really cool natural color with little drips of pale pink and lots of speckling, dark pink speckling, brown, gold, blue. It's really, really awesome. I really love it. It's just beautiful. And she's got it on pre-order now. Stitch Together Studio. I'll put everything in my show notes, as well as you're seeing it on screen. So you could pre-order this. She's about 3 weeks out on her pre-orders. It's pretty good. She's a dyer in the Midwest. I want to say Iowa. I might have that wrong, but I'll correct myself on screen if I am wrong. The rest of the yarns that are in this sweater is the top yoke is Lavender Loon company. She's in Colorado, and this color is called Everlong after a Foo Fighters song. So here's the yarn up close. There you go. It's like a purpley black plum with bits of like a teal, a jade color almost. It's really, really pretty. I really love it. I should make something big out of this, but I do. It's part of my my yarn library where I just like when I'm designing something or when I'm planning a new sweater, I dig around in what I have. Like I have an idea usually, and then I dig through what I have on hand and try to use stash, because that's, I mean, I have stash because there are yarns that I love, that I fell in love with for whatever reason, and yeah, it's just kind of, it's nice to be able to take a yarn that you fell in love with and you bought on a whim and use it and like knit it up into something gorgeous. Oh, I'll have a picture on screen of the dress. I probably already did it, a full, because so you can see the full thing. It's coming along really nicely. Okay. Oh, and the dark color that's on here, this black purple plum. I'm gonna move this up close so you can see well. There you go. That dark color is leftover yarn from my arboreal sweater. It is Like a Hurricane by Primrose Yarn Company, and she's in Pennsylvania. She's very close. I have actually met her and seen her a couple times at shows and stuff, because she's usually, like, if there's a show by me, she's in it almost always. She's a huge yarn dyer. I mean, she produces. That woman produces. It's pretty cool. I love women-run businesses. Okay. The other thing that I spent time working on. Oops, I don't want to spoil this. This is potentially spoiler. I don't know if this is a spoiler anymore. This is the Impressionist shawl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. I joined the Cal, and I think this is the last week because she released Clue 4 last Saturday. I haven't gotten to Clue 4 yet. I am almost done with Clue. I'm actually pretty close. Now that I think about it, I am on row 153, so practically done with Clue 3. And then Clue 4 is quite short, but you know, it's a circular shawl. Hopefully that's not a spoiler for you, because the knit along's done. So if you're still like plugging away on Clue 4, you're still ahead of me. So I'm not giving you anything away. But if you're behind me and you don't want to see, I'm about to show my progress. I am completely in love with this shawl. I mean, the colors. I think it's the colors. I can't really tell whether I like the design yet. I think I like it. The pattern's written in a very interesting, easy way to read, but look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Like beautiful spring colors, and there's this gorgeous spring weather. I really want to finish this so I can wear it, especially because I gave my lovely daughter-in-law to be, I gave her my pink shawl, the Hagrid's umbrella shawl that was made from my own design, the shawl that lived. And yeah, that was my spring shawl, and now I don't have it anymore. So I kind of want to get this done so that I have another beautiful like spring colored shawl. That's so cute. Let me tell you about my, so if you were looking away, I forgot to say look away. I'll put it on the screen, but you can look back now if you were looking away. I'm going to just talk to you about the yarns real quick. The main color, which I'll show you without spoiling, sorry, the main color, color A, it's not really the main color. This is a hedgehog fiber potluck color. It's a creamy white with speckled pinks and greens and all the pretty colors. It's right up my alley, right? I have so many. You should see like in my yarn stash. It's actually right here behind me. This section right here, this is all rainbow colors. That's what this is. It was supposed to be whites, but it's rainbow. This is where all my rainbow colors end up. So I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing, liking all the colors and not being able to decide ever. The other color that I'm using in there is this Sushi mit Belushi by Garn Story, dyer in Germany. And then and supposedly this is really a fat skein still, but supposedly we use more of this than any other skein. So this has 2 more rows to go, and then I'll be done with it, and then I'm using this. So this is Lost Winds by Ching Fibers. Yeah, those are my 3 colors. I can't think what else I need to tell you about that. All of that will be in the show notes as well. So those are the 2 things that I worked on knit-wise. I kind of alternated back and forth between them. Sleeves go really fast for me because you're only working on about 60 or less stitches, so you can knit them really quickly. You feel like you're making a lot of progress because you can knit a lot of inches because you're just knitting quickly in the round. It's like a sock. So if you're a sock knitter, sleeves are like sock knitting to me. And then this is simple, sort of mindless knitting mostly, but it's a lot of stitches. I think I'll be up over 500 stitches across the bottom. So that's a lot, and that can feel kind of long and tedious for me when I'm knitting. Like I don't want to. Yeah, I sometimes have a hard time making myself go back and forth on so many stitches, but that's that. Okay, before I get into stash enhancement, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the KAL I'm doing. I'm doing a KAL. I am going to be conducting it on both Instagram and Ravelry. I have not set up a page as at the point of me recording this on Ravelry, but I will. I'll set up a chat page, and then I'll set up a progress page and a finished object page on in my group tongue-tied in my group on Ravelry. You'll find pages where you can post your progress if you're interested, or if you'd prefer, you can do it on Instagram. I'm going to run the KAL in both places. It's my first KAL, so welcome to my first KAL. I have some ideas about what kind of prizes that I'm going to give out. I'm running it May 1st through June 30th. I'm going to give prizes out at the end of May. The first prizes will go out at the end of May, and it's just going to be a random number generator where I'm going to probably just pull from both Instagram progress pictures and from Ravelry, so there'll be like 2 different giveaways. You can enter in both if you want. And I'll have gifts for people at the end of May, and then I'll have a finished object thread, and I'll look for FOs in Instagram, and I'll be picking prize winners at the end of June out of the FO threads. You may enter in the either one of the giveaways, even if you have like a Humulus sweater in progress. So I haven't said yet that it's a Humulus sweater. I'm sort of assuming that you all know because I've talked about it last week and I've talked about it on Instagram. But if you don't know, I'm doing it. The KAL will be the Humulus sweater by Isabel Kramer. It won the March Madness knit contest, and I have been very interested in knitting it. I was interested before it won the March Madness, and yeah. I will talk to you really quickly about what I'm going to use. I'm really interested in keeping the time of this video down, so we're going to do this and stash, and I'm done. Yeah, so these are my colors. This is what I'm going to be using for my Humulus sweater, which I will be casting on along with you on May 1st. I am using Rockwell yarn by Jill Draper Makes Stuff. It is a crossbred sheep breed, merino cormo crossbred sheep. It is a DK weight, and it's in the color brownstone, which a couple episodes ago I talked a lot about cinnamon color. I talked about my fascination with it lately, and I satisfied that craving for cinnamon by buying this yarn, and I bought some cinnamon colored fabric, so I think I'm okay for now. My contrast color is this icy blue. It's actually called Cold as Ice, and it is by Plucky Knitters, and it is in their, okay, don't be confused now, but it is in their snug worsted base. Here it is, Plucky Knitters, snug worsted. So what I realized when I was planning this sweater is that the yardage, so this is usually like a good way to compare weights of yarn. You look at the yardage. the weight of the skein and then the yardage. And you can kind of understand like the thickness of the yarn that way. It works wool to wool, fiber to fiber. It doesn't work when you start mixing fibers in there. Like a mohair is not going to weigh the same as wool. But fiber to fiber were pretty good. And I realized that, like, so if you look at my swatch closely with the colors in it, you can see, come on, focus you. You can see that the blue is slightly, ever so slightly thicker than the ground color, but I don't mind that because you know what that means? It means that the definition is going to be a little better. And I like to two-hand, when I do color work, I two-hand hold the yarn. So I'll hold the blue in my left hand and I'll hold the rust color in my right hand. So my right hand is will do a little bit better job with tension than my left hand. So generally what happens when you're using equal weight yarns is that your looser tension will not be as defined, but with a slightly thicker yarn, I think it'll offset it. At least that's the plan. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm excited. I bought the pattern. I'm ready to go. I hope you're excited too. Please join me. Join the cow. And yeah, let's have some fun. I want to have some fun and I want to give away some stuff. I have stuff. I have good stuff to give away. I'm not going to tell you right now, but I'll be talking about it down the road. All right? Okay, so there's nothing left to talk to you about now except the things that I got this week, and I got some good stuff. So I had joined 2 clubs back in January, and they are spring clubs. No, I think it was February. So they are March, April, May clubs. So these are my second shipments from each club. The first one is kind of I can't believe I did this. I joined this like crazy club. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this yarn. Like this isn't even yarn that I could easily like, oh, I'm just going to work it into a color work yoke and it'll be fine. It's not even that. I guess I could do that. I don't know. Without further ado, it is Baby Suri, melted Baby Suri from Ching Fibers. This colorway she's calling Mint Choco, mint chocolate, I guess. Baby Suri is an alpaca type animal. And this is a blend of 65% Suri alpaca, 20% merino wool, 15% silk. And it's really soft and squishy and gorgeous. No idea what to do with it. None. And I already have some. I showed last week in the podcast the color that I got in March. I got it, I guess because of shipping, I got it at the end of March. So this actually came like 2 weeks after the first shipping, so that was kind of cool. I got 2 skeins. The club is 2 skeins of the same color. Yeah, so this is going to sit and marinate for a while in my stash, and hopefully I'll come up with some idea, something to do. I am designing 2 different shawls right now, so I was thinking that, and they're both kind of neutral. One is pink and neutral, and the other one's like neutral. And I was kind of hoping that I might get some neutrals. I still might, so that I could maybe incorporate that into one of my shawl designs, but didn't happen. The other yarn I got, the other club that I joined, is the Merino Sock Club with Garn Story. Garn Story is one of my favorite designers. I talk about her stuff a lot. I use her stuff a lot in a lot of my sweaters. I just think she has such an amazing touch. I've realized that I went from like sort of doing a lot of sampling of different dyers and just trying out different things all last year and building a library of different types of yarn from a lot of indie dyers. And now I've kind of gotten to the point where I have my favorites that I keep circling back to. And Garn Story, Anka, I think her name is pronounced Anka, is got an amazing eye for color. I feel like I'm often on point with her. I also really enjoyed Ching Fiber, Layla of Ching Fiber. I like her color sense as well. And I feel like she's got some really amazing talent. So this color is called Piccadilly. So this was a club exclusive. I don't know, sometimes she takes her club exclusives and makes them normal store offerings. And you can buy her yarn. She's in Germany, but you can buy her yarn online. That's where I've gotten all the yarn that I've used from her. I've bought it online, either joining a club or just like shopping her sales. So this beautiful orangey coral is called, I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm going to show you. I don't know. Ikebana? I guess. I don't know. Is it a Japanese name? Maybe. They love their vowels, those Japanese names. I don't know. I should look it up. Again, a club color. Really, really pretty. Right in my wheelhouse of colors. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. Okay, and the last thing I got, French Supply Company. I love French bags. I have many of them. In fact, my 2 works in progress are hanging out. Here's the black watch print, and I put an eye on it. Over here. See? Put an eye on it. And I have my Nevertheless She Knitted pin on that one. And that eye is a patch that I didn't make it. And then I have the typical charcoal gray French Supply Company that I put a dark fairy patch on. And I have my Dominator pin from Chrissy Glass Knits. And I have my Twig and Horn black sheep and white sweater because of my son going to Hampshire and being a Hampshire alum. And then I have Undercover Otter from Petra. Love her too. Her dye works are really cool too. So yeah, I got the tobacco color. They, I can't remember the proprietor's name. Sorry, I'll put it on the screen. But anyway, this is a brand new, back again, reoffering of a color that had been discontinued because the company had a hard time finding this color. But it did remind me, I won't lie, it did remind me of the cinnamon color that I've been obsessed with. But now my next thing with this bag, the French Supply bag that I got, is to figure out a patch for it, because I like to put patches on my French Supply bags. It makes it unique and look different. If there are a lot of people sitting around with French Supply bags, I'll know which one is mine. And, you know, I love pins. They're really cool and interesting, and I have a ton of pins sitting in a bowl over there that I don't have them on my bags because I lose them. In fact, I had a witch cat on my gray bag that I've lost. Like, they just fall off. Like, if you actually use your bags outside of your house, you're going to lose your pins. And that's sad. I just get sad from losing them. So I don't want to lose my pins. So I'm going to just put a patch on this. I might put one pin on that I can keep track of, but I'm not about I really need to take these, some of these pins off. I love the Christy Glass Knit one. I love all 3 of these. And I'm trying to really keep track of them. I check the pin backs periodically and stuff like that. So yeah, that's where I'm at. This is my update for wow, it's the end of April. For the end of April, I'm going into spring knitting. And I don't know about you. You probably watch many other podcasts besides mine. And if you do, you probably have noticed that a lot of us knitters are sewing. And I think it's just because the weather's warm and we're like, we need to wear, you know, other things. Like, because I can wear my knitwear all year round, really. Because, like, this little sweater that I took off, my Stanham sweater, it's lightweight and it's perfect for air conditioner, like my air-conditioned office building. So this sweater will probably get thrown into my bag many, many times. This, by the way, this colorful yarn is Undercover Otter. You can find all the information on my project page, like of what I used. But yeah, this is like a really nice weight. It has a wonderful soft hand to it, and yeah, I can wear these year round. But when I think about the warmer weather coming, my mind kind of drifts more towards dresses and things like that. So I guess that's why I'm sewing right now. I don't know. I'm just kind of enjoying myself. I'm an empty nester. My kids all moved out, and yeah, just like looking for things to be creative through. And I hope you enjoyed my podcast. Please hit the like button if you did. It really helps me get visibility. The more likes and the more comments and the more views I get, the more it takes views to get views, and it takes likes to get likes. So it helps get me in front of more and more people, the more people that watch this and the more people that like it. So I really appreciate all your love and all of your attention. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!